These old railroad cars serve as a not-so-subtle reminder of the importance that the city of Tuscumbia holds in our nation's history. If I were to ask you where you thought our nation's fourth railroad was built, logic says that most people would reason somewhere, anywhere in the more populated northeastern United States. And that would be a good guess. But it would be wrong. It was built right here in Tuscumbia, Alabama in 1832. It was the first railroad west of the Allegheny Mountains, and as such, it made Tuscumbia our country's first pioneer railroad town. And it went a long way, about 2 miles. Most everything came in and out of Tuscumbia by the river. The town even had its own shipping company, the Tuscumbia New Orleans Steamboat Company. Commerce thrived in those early days. Cotton was king, and it was shipped from here to markets around the world. But transporting it from the downtown warehouses to Tuscumbia Landing, where the steamboats were docked, was difficult and time-consuming. So the merchants built a railroad to speed things up. 2 years later, in 1834, they expanded 45 miles east to another river town, Decatur. You see, the Tuscumbian merchants were enjoying tremendous growth. They shipped hundreds of tons of material, and by adding the port of Decatur, they gained access to even more national and international markets. Let me put it into perspective. Shipping that much material from Tuscumbia to Decatur over land would take 575 wagons, 575 men, 1,300 horses, and enough food for both for a 5-day journey. They put it on one train, and they got it there in 12 hours. During the Civil War, this railway was a vital line for transportation of both men and supplies, and as such, it changed hands several times. After the war, the railway became part of the Memphis and Charleston Railroad Company, and it was eventually purchased by Southern Railroad. Now, for the record, this depot was not always here. It was built in 1888 to serve the expanding need. In 1946, after more than 100 years of service, Southern Railroad closed this route, and this building fell into disrepair. But in 2004, it was restored and reopened as the Tuscumbia Railway and Transportation Museum. This building is filled with artifacts of all kinds concerning the history of the railroad here and across the country. You can become an engineer and imagine what it feels like to drive a train or send a telegram. In those days, Tuscumbia was a major telegraph center. Every kid from 9 to 90 can have a wonderfully fun and educational experience by spending some time right here. So, the next time you find yourself in downtown Tuscumbia, come on over to the corner of 5th and Water Street. Take a minute. Read the sign. I'll see you next time, somewhere in the shows.